Hi guys, so can you hear me all right? Can you hear me? If you can give me a little thumbs up, that would be very helpful in the chat. Right, so tonight we are going to be talking about vans. Already we've got, I'm just looking up here because we've got the screen, but I've got a slightly better setup than last time, a little bit more pro. Roger Salter, oi oi, I hope you like the introduction. It was banging tunes. Please do use the chat, the live chat, otherwise I've got nothing to engage with. It's all ball, it probably is. Good evening, Paul D. How you doing, mate? Good to see you back with us again. Thanks, guys. Right, okay, so what are we going to talk about? I'm looking to you guys to lead the conversation. There's a couple of little pictures that I've got. Today, it's 8 years since I got my first ever camper van, and so I'll just try and show you a little picture of that, if I can. Right, guys, I'm going to ditch the photos because they don't quite work with me doing them like that, because I think it messes up the sound. So that's something I've just learned. You learn something new every day. Afternoon, guys, there's a few of you in there. If you're new to the room, it's lovely to see you. So plan next for the conversion. I think I've got a little picture that I can show you of where the van is up to today. It's a picture that I shared when we were last online. I'll just drop it on to the board and I'll try and show it to you. Hopefully you won't lose the sound as we do it. So that's the van at the moment. Hopefully, I'm struggling, guys, just figuring out how to do some of this. So it's still a bit of a test. I'm going to need your help to do to try and figure it all out. Hopefully that focus will sort out a little bit more on my face. And so, yeah, what we're looking at. So what do I prefer so far, T5 or T6? Well, I've had a T5 historically. I think I bought it about 4 years ago. That was our GDUBTV started. I bought a T5, and the aim of it really, it used to be a windsurfing van. You might have seen the video on YouTube. It's got about 80,000 views now. So if you look up GDUBTV, I think it's T5 reveal or something like that. Then you will see the van in all its glory when it was finished. But we basically bought that van, me and my wife, to convert it. And then that was how GDUBTV started doing all the different videos. Most of them, I was just watching other people. I'm not an expert at this. As you'll probably know if you've seen some of the videos, I get a lot of flack for doing a lot of stuff wrong. So you've got to bear that in mind, guys. If you're copying what I'm doing, I'm not an expert. I don't get paid for doing what I'm doing. I wouldn't do any work on anyone else's van because I'm prepared to make mistakes on my own stuff, and hopefully, if need be, I can always get a professional to put it right. The T6 project, I just wanted to get a newer van really, and so I'd had a lot of companies I've been working with who wanted to kind of do other bits and bobs. They had found that a lot of you guys, because of the videos I've done, were starting to contact them, and they were getting a lot of work through the channel, which is great. I don't really get paid for this. YouTube, you know, you have to have like videos going like to millions of people before you can get any sort of income from it. I probably get paid about £100 a month for all the videos I do, which sounds great, but actually when you think, you know, some of the videos take, you know, easy 8 hours of editing, you know, like price per hour, it's just not worth doing it. It's more of a hobby. But one of the things, a lot of these companies now got great relationships with, so they're all offering me discounts or free product, which is beautiful. But obviously, like I said last time, I won't go over it all again. I wouldn't recommend rubbish companies. I'm just not into that. It's just going to bite me in the bottom if I did do that. And so let's have a little look. What we got in the questions. So you're thinking about buying a T5. That would be a good decision. T4, T5. Ha! Everyone's shouting out for their different types of vans, what they've got. You're having the same seats. So the interesting thing, when I was at captain seat, so I think I might have a little picture of George at captain seat. Let's see if I can get to scene, and then I'll just try and see if I can get a little picture of when I was up with George at captain seat. So this was when I was up with George at captain seat. Me and George, we've kind of struck up a bit of a friendship over the last couple of years, and George is a great guy. I've got a lot of love for George. He's done an amazing thing in his business. He's got a great big vision. He owns half of the farm now where all the units are up in Shoby Farm. And so, yeah, he said that whilst the seats that I've had, they've been sat there probably for about 3 months ready to get fitted, and I just hadn't been at a point with the build on the van to get them fitted. And he said everyone that's been in there has seen them and said, oh, I want a set of seats like that. And so if you want, they genuinely call them the GDUBTV style seats now. So if you like the seats in the new van, there's a video that's going to follow on that fairly shortly. But if you like those seats, then by all means, contact George and the team there, and they will be able to hook you up with a set of seats just like that. Do I plan on doing another funky paint job or a wrap? Now, not a funky paint job, but I would love to do a wrap. Often a lot of it, I'm not made of money. A lot of this stuff I'm doing either completely free or discounted. So if anyone knows a company that's got a good reputation, that's up for doing a wrap on the van for some viral YouTube promotion, please put me in touch with them. I'd be well up for working with them. I've got a vision of what I love to do with the van. I'd love to get it like Batman black, would be awesome, but I think now because of some of the colours I put on the van, I've got a bit of a thing where I want to put a Viper stripe down the middle with a little red offset stripe down the side, but I'll try and find a picture in a minute and I'll ping that up. I'd rather see you mess stuff up so you make the expensive mistakes and not us. Paul, I have made some expensive mistakes. I have, I promise you that. Gordon, looking at getting an undervan water tank but struggling to work out where the pump goes. Can you help? Mr. Dodge Games, I haven't got a clue, mate. If anyone else in the room knows about underwater tanks and where the pump goes, can you put it in the comments? Particularly if there's a video, put a link in. That would really serve this man. That'd be great. Keeping it real, loving the videos. Thanks, guys. I'm learning a lot. For me, I'm learning a lot along the way. I learned quite a bit with the T5 project, but even now, I'm watching, like, genuinely, guys, like I say, I scratch about Coombe Valley Campers, great channel. That lot of really good content. Lee, the guy there who runs that, is in business doing that full time. He clearly knows what he's doing. His channel is mushrooming, it's ballooning, it's growing really well. And so I'd encourage you to check out Coombe Valley Campers if you want to see how the pros do it. He's doing some great content and just kind of sprung up out of nowhere over the last year or two. And he's really leading the way, I guess, with this sort of content. So well done, Lee, at Coombe Valley Campers. Got a lot of love for him. Right, what else we got? Thinking about lowering my van, and any idea what's the best make, and also can you recommend a garage? I'm from Bedfordshire. I don't know any garages in Bedfordshire. It depends how low you want to go, mate. I know there is low down transporters. Now, if you want to have your van slammed so it's scraping the ground, they can mess around with all the lower arms and axles and all that sort of stuff, put in air ride, all sorts of stuff. If you're just thinking about dropping it on springs, there's that. My last van, the T5 project, that was lowered on springs and it had 22-inch rims, and that was a horrible van to drive. It was a lot of fun, but over every bump, it would literally knock out wheel bearings. It was, every time I had an MOT, new wheel bearings, but it looked really smart. It did look really good, and that's very important, isn't it? Style over function, I think, is what they call it. So the current van I've got, the T6, I bought it from Unique Transporters there in sort of Aldershot, down near Guildford, just around the bottom end of the M25. And they get their vans and they put a lowering kit on there. So it's got coilovers, I believe. It's got springs on there. It's got a lovely ride, particularly now I've got a bit of weight in there with the rock and roll bed and the units. It's got a lovely ride height on the arches. But I don't know the best kit. Again, guys, if there's so many different ones. Stance, Bilstein, there's so many. Really, you're better off ringing up someone like Low Down Transporters. Ring the experts. I'm not an expert. I'm only an expert at what I've tried. And that's not very good, I promise you. Right, okay, next question. Fitting barn door spoiler tomorrow. Do you have to drill, or will Tiger Seal be enough? Tiger Seal, mate, all the way. I believe there is a video, actually, on Coombe Valley Campers about using Tiger Seal, but you can literally just bond it on. Tiger Seal, that stuff is amazing. You obviously might need to put a few bits and pieces just to hold it on, clamp it on for a bit. But yeah, if the weather's nice, the weather's been great down here in Kent the last couple of days, then that'd be great. I actually did a bit of Tiger Sealing a couple of days ago. Weather was brilliant. It cured within a few hours, which was brilliant. Seats look great. Cheers, Cookie Monster. Good to see you back. I think you was here last time. Recognise the name. Had my seats from Captain Seats. Absolutely top notch and great value. That's brilliant. That's why I love them. That's why I recommend them. I don't get paid by say this. Genuinely, I think they're the best. I genuinely think they're the best. And if you know someone else who thinks they're better, get them to give me a ring, give me some free seats, and I'll see what they're like. Degs, taking my T5 for a Pendle remap. Very nice. I've heard they're very good. I've never had one. How much does it improve the drive? So, you might have seen my video with Unique Transporters. They do, I can't remember the name of it now. I'm going to look it up. I'll look it up. Bear with me. They do a remap, and they're offering a bit of a discount to GDUBTV viewers. But if you've got yours booked in already, that's fine. I think it's something like 20% off or 10% off they're offering. But they do remaps, and it's something like Super Chips. Yeah, Super Chips. Got it on the website just here. It's made a massive difference on my one. I think they're 109 brake from standard on my one, and I don't know what they pushed it up to. With the ones that we have, it's more just an ECU remap. So they send off all the data from your van via your ECU. It gets recoded relevant to the data on your ECU, and then they give you an amount that you can increase it by. Some of them, I think Pendle, I'm not sure, check, but some of them do it actually on a rolling road, like a proper They can tend to be a little bit more expensive, but I think well worth doing, particularly if you've got other things like oversized intercoolers or turbos or anything like that, extra hoses. Some of that stuff, different air intakes, can really just up the brake horsepower a bit. And so I think when you're starting to put that stuff on, you want to go a bit more bespoke. You want to go for something. You've got to watch out. One of the things, just as a warning, guys, I've heard so many stories of people that have had people just come round, some bloke with a laptop, jack into it, and then they've had nothing but problems with the van, problems with EGR valves, problems with diesel knocking, all sorts of stuff like that. I would encourage you guys, make sure the people that you're going to, just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's going to be good, okay? And so obviously if you spend thousands of pounds on a van, just be careful you've got plugging into it and putting software on, because sometimes you're going to come unstuck. Just trying to be honest there. Silent coat and Dodo installation. No, so you might have seen I've just done a video with who's that with? Heritage Parts Centre, and using STP products. I'll show you a little picture of the van. So the van, when it was empty, looked a little bit, I don't know what's going on with this. I'm having to resize all the pictures, guys, so please bear with me. Right, there we go. So I emptied the van, it looked like this, and then the stuff that I fitted was silent coat. No, sorry, STP, not silent coat. And it is, there you go. So it's this stuff. And so I ended up fitting a load of this into the van. It was excellent stuff to work with. I'll just show you one more picture of it completely fitted. Sorry, I'm talking a bit broken. I'm just having to figure out the best way to do this, and this might not be it. I'm learning along the way. And so you can see there, that's all the installation, insulation. So that's soundproofing and insulation fitted. This was before I fitted the ply floor, and then after that the ply floor went in, which I think I've got a picture of, and then over the top of that was when the floor went in, stuff like that. So there you go, there's a picture of it with the ply floor. Hang on, guys. Bear with me, this is really not the right way of doing it, I don't think. I'm going to need to play with this off screen at some point. But, right, we're back. Okay, and so I used STP. They're a Russian company, recommended to me by Heritage Parts Centre. They actually contacted me and said, Gordon, we'd love to work with you. We love what your channel looks like. We love what you're about. You seem very genuine. If we could send you some free products, would you do some install videos for us and a bit of a live review? You haven't got to do a favourable review. Just be honest. We think these products are really good. We think they're the best. Would you like to put them in your van? And so I sent them a little list of some things that I liked. That was how I ended up getting the barn door windows and the side windows that I fitted. And it was also how I got the STP insulation. I'd heard of STP before, but never seen their products before. Heritage Parts Centre are a stockist in the UK of their product, and I've kind of used it. It's definitely one of the best ones I've used. I've not used Dodo Matte or Silent Coat. They look, I've never felt it either, but looking online, they look like similar materials, but I can't comment on the quality of the other ones. But I know loads of people use them. I know a lot of people stock them. I've seen increasingly on a lot of the Facebook forums and stuff, a lot of people are using it. I think it's a lot easier to get hold of, but particularly with STP, if you want to get a discount on that from Heritage Parts Centre, use the code GDUBTV, either at checkout or when you ring them up on the phone, and they can knock some money off. I think it's 5% at the moment, but I reckon if you were to ring them and really say, look, it's either 10% or nothing, they might be able to do something. I don't know, you can but try. But yeah, I haven't got any experience of Dodo Matte or Silent Coat, so I can't talk negatively about it, I wouldn't want to. But definitely STP, my experience, a great product, really, really good. And we went out in the van today, me and my wife and the kids for Mother's Day, just went to a local park because you can't go anywhere inside. And so we went out and was in the van, and my wife commented, wow, since you've had all this work done on the van, since you put insulation in and stuff, it's so quiet. And it genuinely is. Obviously, we'd been driving around in the van for a while, and it was completely empty. So it was like rattling around in a tin can, you know, you could hear all the stones hitting the bottom. But now it's kind of got all those sandwiches of soundproofing, insulation, wood ply, carpeting, the vinyl flooring, all that sort of stuff. It's like sitting in the car. It's lovely and warm. It's got that like dead sound, you know, like if you're in a recording studio, it's kind of got that dead sound, which is just really good. Everything sounds very flat. There's no hollow noise. There's no reverberation, which is great. Next, hope that helps, Luke, with your silent coat dodo installation. It would be the same. Watch my STP video. It's the same stuff, effectively. Different, materials, I think, but the same product. The same way you would do it. Same process, not same product. Gordon, can you do a shout out to my 2-week-old grandson, Lewis, a VW in the making? Of course we can. Lewis, welcome to the world. I'm sorry, mate, that it's full of little germs that we're trying to keep everyone safe from. But Lewis, is it? Yeah, Lewis. That's my son's name, actually, Lewis. I should remember that. Lewis, we trust that you are going to be in good hands and, enjoy life. Learn the G-dub way. The V-dub way, not the G-dub way. That'd be weird. We're all here sat and watching the live chat. Well done, Russell. AJ's Mobile Disco. Just need to add a nice gear knob now. Ha! So. I'll drop a little picture in. Some of you may or may not know this. You may or may not have seen this if you follow me on Instagram. If you don't, check out GDUBTV, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, website as well, www.gdub.tv. But on Instagram particularly, you might see a few little pictures. But this one just coming up now. This is a gear knob that a lovely gentleman that I got to know on Instagram. I saw some videos that he was sharing and he was liking some of my content. And I'd seen that he machined these gear knobs and I was like, mate, where do you buy these from? And he was like, I made it. I was like, seriously, you didn't? Seriously, you did not make that? And he started sending me all the videos and stuff. He sent me some other stuff. He actually converted his van by scratch. He's a bit more like my mate Spider Lee, and he actually made this gear knob that you can see here. Can you see this gear knob? And so Spider Lee similarly got his van and literally built everything, built his own units, built his own, all the cupboards, rock and roll bed, the lot. And this guy's done the same. He's a machinist. He's actually started working on a new job doing converting caravans, and so I've actually got, that's my gear knob that you can see there, that is waiting me to go and pick it up and then fit it to the van, which is amazing. He actually lives up near the place where I bought my van. And so at some point, once all the virus stuff's gone, which is such a pain, isn't it? All this self-isolation, being stuck indoors, social distancing, we need to do it. Like, I genuinely believe the authorities, you see what's going on in China and in Italy, like, I know it's nice to go out, but we just got to do what they say. But it's a bit depressing, isn't it? And you start getting a bit bored. I'm glad I've got this to kind of just, use a bit of energy up, because otherwise I'd be going stir crazy. But yeah, once all this is finished, I'm going to go and pick up that gear knob. There we go, gear knob. Right, next. What's my opinion on a musical horn? I don't even know where to start with that question. Dashcam Dave, got a big family audience. Great. Well, I won't be rude. Dashcam Dave, I'd love you to tell me what's your opinion on a musical horn. Before I answer, I feel like it's a leading question and you're trying to make me say something that could incriminate me. I've always loved the idea of getting a horn that's like, but I don't, on a T6, the vibe of what I'm going for, it doesn't fit. I think rather than a musical horn, I'd love a great big dirty sub under the driver's seat. I've actually got one it's not a great big dirty one, but I've got a great sub that the guys at Skips and Car Audio have got me that slips under the driver's seat. And I think that's the musical horn. I'm going to come along with the windows down. Maybe some dirty Euro house pumping out of the windows. Dashcam Dave, musical horns. I don't know. What's your thoughts? I think on older vans it works, but I'm not so sure. Trouble with the conversion is there's always something else to add or change. It's a labour of love. Genuinely, I know with my own van, I've cut these hands so many times that literally my blood and sweat is in the vehicles that I've worked on. But I think that's part of the joy, I've got literal scars I can point to, say, that was when I tried to yank off that door. That was when I tried to drill through that bit of metal. I've got a lot of scars and scratches like that. I think it is a labour of love. Guys, please don't go quiet in the chat room, because as soon as I get to the bottom, I've run out of stuff to say. I have nothing prepared. I just thought this would be a bit of Q&A. So anything I can help with, I'm really happy to do I'm happy to try and answer if I can. I'm not a guru. I don't really know what I'm on about. I'm just some bloke sitting at home who's a bit bored, who thought he'd go online and see if any of his friends had come out and play. That's being really honest. So have I ever thought of doing a crafter conversion? I have indeed. Before I got the T6 project, that was where it was headed. I was sort of thinking, right, get a big crafter. The challenge was, you might have seen, I'm not sure if you know, but some of the videos I've done, we've moved house. So we moved a couple of years ago due to work. I'm a church planter. I've said that in the last video. Some of you that you might think, hang on a minute, I never thought that. But yeah, so I've been a church leader for like 10 years, and then we moved to a new town a couple of years ago, and we moved to rented accommodation. And then so I've known since I sold the last van that we would be buying a house, and I wasn't sure if we'd have a driveway, how big it would be, whether we'd have any money left, whether that van money might need to go towards the house. And eventually we took the decision, right, let's get a T6. I could probably park that on the road, whereas with a big crafter, if I haven't got a driveway, working on something like that, you know, they're big, they're huge, and trying to work on one of them on the road would be a no-no for me. So as of yet, no. I almost feel like the T6 might be my last van for a little while. I'm kind of vanned out, like with the conversion bit. I love it, it's a lot of fun, but I've got 3 kids, wife, quite a demanding job that I do, you know, like kind of giving my life to it really. And I love doing this, but actually converting a crafter could be huge, a huge job. So I think probably when I'm in my 50s, I'm 41 next month, when I'm in my 50s, I'll probably get a big project like that I can just poodle around on. But who knows? I told my wife I wasn't going to get another van after the T5, and then look where we are now. So who knows? Love musical horns. Got a big one on my VW Touran. Dashcam Dave, that's great. If there's any way that you can email that to me, you'll see my email address in the sort of comments or the description under this live stream. If you're able to get a video of your horn and email it to me, I promise you I'll play it. Okay, that would be great. Or you can Facebook message it to me at GDUBTV. That would be brilliant. I'd love to do that. That would be great. I've actually got 2, so I'm giving Russell Curry one for his T4. Brilliant. That's cool. There we go. Who'd have thought musical horns are a thing in 2020? That's great. Have you seen Carl Beadle's channel? He fitted his own pop top single-handed in the rain. I did. Like my mate Perry, you might have seen me showing a surfing video of him. Carl Beadle, I'd never heard of him before. And my mate sent me this link of him. That guy is a genius, and his editing is great. He's someone that I really want to hook up with, do a video with or something. The guy is like, he's a unique guy. I really love his content. I think it's great. And I saw him like literally fitting a pop top roof on his van. I think it's a T6 or a T5. He did it single-handedly. Amazing. I don't know how he did it. He made like rigs to like wheel the roof around because it was so heavy, and then a pulley. He was literally pulling it up on like a wooden platform, and then it started raining, so he had tarpaulins. I was like, mate, I hate to think what your neighbours must be thinking, but he did it, and that's what I love. It's like Noah and the Ark, you know, like everyone must have been thinking, what on earth is this nutcase doing? And then when it's finished, they're like, oh wow. I think Cole Beadle's like that. His neighbours, I'm sure they love him and he knows them well. But wow, just amazing. So Cole Beadle, if you're out there, if you're watching by any small chance, please hook me up. I'd love to have a little chat with you, mate, see if we can do something, little video, a little collaboration. That would be awesome. Yes, Paul D. Cole Beadle's great. I'm actually subscribed to him now, so that's good. What got me into dubs? So, I don't know, like when I was driving in my late teens, early 20s, it was all like about Max Power, Fast Forward, Revs, all those sort of magazines. And me and my mates, we used to go, we live down in the southeast, so we live in Kent. I sort of grew up in and around Dartford. So the Dartford Tunnel, just the other side of that, really south end, about an hour's drive, 45 minutes. And so we all just used to bomb over there. I remember as soon as I passed my driving test, the first thing we did, all bundled into my Mark II Astra, 1.3D, 1.3 Merit, 3-door, white Astra. It was a ghastly thing, but it was my first car and I loved it dearly. And me and my mates all bundled in it, and we just used to go to Southend, and other mates began to pass their tests in their Fiestas and things like that. And then we had a bit of a crew that used to hang out on the Dartford one-way system. We used to think we were the business, and we used to go to Southend, like literally every Friday, Saturday night. We would spend ridiculous amount of money on petrol. I was always like, Mum, give me more money. And then, so I'd had loads of cars, like seriously ridiculous amount of cars. I couldn't name them all. I've had BMWs, Peugeot 205 GTIs, one with a dimmer kit, RS turbos, XR3Is, all sorts of stuff. Everything and anything. I've had loads of different cars, crashed a few of them, bought a few Lemons, XR2s, loads. I've had a lot of Fords, Golfs, things like that. And then So as I got a little bit older, obviously got married, everything settled down a little bit, and we were like, come on, let's get another vehicle. My wife had a little Clio that we used, and we were like, well, let's get another vehicle. And then we saw 8 years ago, I'll show you the picture of it if I can. You'll lose my sound for a minute, but I'll just put the picture of the van up and then I'll come back. Is that all right? So I'll put it on the screen for a few seconds. Okay, so that van is Betty. 8 years ago today, Facebook reminded me of this. That's why I got the picture to hand. 8 years ago today, we went and bought that van. My wife and I, we didn't have any kids at the time. We bought that van, and that was where it all started. And then since then, I've had a T2, which was like an old gunship grey T2, low light, early bay. I've had a T4, like a really rough and ready diesel with someone made like an MDF conversion inside, and kind of those three vans, I was like, when you've got a van, you know you're always working on them, you're always doing your own bits on them. I said to my wife, I think I could convert my own one. I've kind of fixed everything on every van I've ever had. And so we went and bought the T5 project, and then after that, obviously, we sold that to a mate. Now we've got the T6 project. It's just kind of like, I'd never thought about getting into them. It's just kind of fell into it. I love it. I've always been into vans. When I was like 20 years old, I always wanted an escort van, kit it out. I was into all that, you know, people that did that. I never did actually do it, but I guess I'm kind of scratching that itch now. Wow, we've got a few of you asking a lot of questions, guys. This is great. We've got half an hour, if you're up for it. If this isn't your cup of tea, by the way, I forgot to say this at the beginning. Some of you have just tuned in. Feel free to skip this. I'm just a bit bored. Not self-isolating. I'm fit and well at the moment, as far as I know. But you know, the whole social distancing thing, I just thought this is a great way of communicating with people. Probably a lot of you sat indoors, a bit bored. I haven't got a lot of time for editing content because I'm very busy with work. We're trying to figure out how we can engage with people in the town, stuff like that. And so I thought, well, I can do this. This doesn't take me, an hour and a half, something like that to do. Whereas editing a video takes me 6, 7, 8 hours sometimes. So this is just a quick fix to connect with you guys, hopefully keep you engaged, answer any questions, which I think is a good thing. And in the background, I'll be editing some of these other videos I've got. But yeah, if this isn't for you, just feel free, dial out, that's fine. Don't unsubscribe, because I love having you guys along for the journey. But yeah, if it's not for you, just tune out, that's fine. How come I didn't carpet and fit the units myself this time around? So yeah, being really honest, I was going to carpet the van myself, and then George at Captain Seats offered to carpet it. He said, Gordon, we've done the seats on your van. I really want to show people that we do carpeting here and that we do a really, really good job. I've actually got a couple of pictures that I can show you, if that would be helpful. Just bear with me a tick, sorry guys. So I've got a picture of it actually being carpeted. And so that is, I went up to Leicester a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago now, probably 3 weeks ago, and that was the van starting to be carpeted, and they did an absolutely brilliant job. And so George had offered, Gordon, bring it to me. I want to show people what a great job we can do on it. I'll try and show you a picture of the wheel arch or something. And so that's the picture of the wheel arch. I've got some other pictures, but they're not to hand. But it sort of gives you an idea, really, of kind of all the bits and bobs that I've had done. Sorry, guys, I'm distracted here, aren't I? There we go, we're back, great. Okay. So yeah, that's why I didn't do it myself. The units, same thing, Northern Rose camper van conversions. They had literally so much work from when I first went up to visit them. They've changed warehouse 3 times. So when I first visited them, they were in a little shed, kind of cutting the units by themselves with hand routers. Second time I went there, they had a bigger unit, and they were starting to use, they had CNC machines. I went there just before they moved into the unit they're in now. I've got a video that will be coming out probably in a couple of weeks, the way we're going at the moment, which shows them kind of their new premises, and it also shows the units they've made for me, and they installed them for me as well, which is great. They don't normally do fitting, but I said, guys, would you fit them for me? And they said yes. So really, it was just that mates would do it for me, and they did it for free, which is great. And the reason they've done that, I'll need to be really upfront, is just because signposted a lot of business to them, and so a lot of the videos I do, I'm not getting paid to promote their products, but actually because they've had so much work. I had the same with Oztops. Oztops gave me a free roof, because they said every week we get someone ringing up wanting to book a roof because they've seen us on GDUBTV. We just want to give you something to say thank you. If we'd have known how much work we got because of the video that you did. First time I went there, it was all, I paid for it like a paying customer, normal paying customer. No freebies, nothing like that. So I've struck up really good relationships with a lot of these companies. I ring them up, I have time with them. So I've sort of made friends with them all really. And they're good at what they do. And so I wouldn't recommend anyone that's rubbish, but I hope that answers your question. I need to be upfront with that. Hopefully you get that. I'm trying to be transparent anyway. So any questions about any of that, I'm happy to talk about actually. Nothing hidden here. So what else we got? Do you or any of your viewers know where I can get VW centre caps to fit my Land Rover alloy wheels, which I have on my T5? I actually had the same. I had Land Rover Overfinch alloys, 22 ones on my T5. You can get them off of eBay, mate. If you just Google for them, centre caps, you'll find them on there. But if anyone's got a proper link, stick it in there. That's for wheel lines. What split charger system are you using? Okay, so the new T6, does yours have a smart alternator? It does have a smart alternator. I just got a CTEC splitter, can't recommend them enough. Guys, so a lot of people have said go for a CTEC. I actually rang Mick at Simply Split Charger. I used them on the T5 project. I've got to know Mick a little bit over the years. He's a great guy, super helpful. They're incredibly busy as a company, but if you can manage to get through to him on the phone, that in itself is a mission. But if you can get through to him on the phone, he is a wealth of information and he's got time for anyone, and I think that's why it's hard to get through on the phone, because he just loves talking to everyone all the time. He's brilliant. I rang him up and told him that I'd got four 100-watt solar panels from Lenson Solar. So I'd contacted Lenson. I'd worked with them before. Their solar panels are great. They're PTFE ones. They're semi-flexible. They're not like the hard glass ones, which means that you can actually just bond them straight on the roof. You don't have to have plastic mountings for them and stuff. They're kind of used for marine applications, but they're great. They've got a special rubberized coating, really efficient, really effective. I used an 80-watt one on the T5 project, so I rang them up. They basically gave me one free one and 30% off the other three, which I thought, okay, I wanted to get a lot of solar on the roof anyway. So I've got 4 of those, and I rang him up and he said, right, you could use a CTEC, but what you're going to need is a battery-to-battery charger. And he said, I recommend that I think it's called ABSO or ABSCO. It's actually, I've got one upstairs in a box that I've got to yet do an unboxing of, which I'll do kind of while I've got a bit more time now with social isolation and social distancing and all that stuff. But yeah, so it's an ABSO one. It's on their website, but it can basically, I think, hold up to or carry up to about 400-500 watts of solar energy through it. So I want to try and make the van as much as possible completely off grid with no need for electric hookup. And so I've got 2 gel leisure batteries, about 110 amp hours each. So 220 amp hour battery in there, effectively a battery bank that will go in the bottom unit at the back by the wheel. Then I've got those. So I would have gone for a CTEC if it weren't for the amount of literal solar energy. The whole roof is going to be covered in solar panels, which is going to be amazing. So there we go. That's that one. But yeah, well done on the CTEC. Everyone I speak to says, go and get a CTEC. Don't get one of those Durite ones. Get a CTEC. So yeah, I know they're good. So Will Lyons, use captain seat after seeing the vids. Well done, mate. Good choice. I trust that you're pleased with it. If you're not, post up. It's good for people to know if people are having problems. He does great drone footage too. Bit jealous. Who's that? Oh yeah, Will the other guy. Yeah, I've not seen his other videos, but he probably does. He strikes me as the sort of guy that's quite technical. I had the chance of a late T5 or a Vito. I got the Vito, but now regret it. Yeah, I was the same. I nearly went for a Vito initially just because they're cheaper, and I'm glad I didn't, but it depends what you're in it for. I think the whole, like the dub scene type thing, there is that scene tax in there where everything is just so much more money. Everywhere you go, as soon as you put a VW badge on it, it's more for some reason. I do like the Mercs, particularly the newer ones. I love the new Sprinter from the front. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I would love one of those. I also like the new full transit, MSRT. I think they look lovely, but I just couldn't do it. I genuinely couldn't do it. I don't think they've got any soul. I don't think there's any scene around it, but I get it, and it's a van. And you can, like I've got friends that have got other types of vans, Peugeots and stuff, they've done excellent conversions, and have done it for like half the price. And so if you actually need a vehicle you can use, and you know, I think that's one of the best ways to go actually, is to do the other way, because I think you can actually make a bit more of a margin on it that way as well. As midway through conversion, realising there are only so many options available for VW, what do you think that is? I don't get the question, but now I regret it. As midway through conversion, oh, you're halfway through your conversion, okay. Realising there are so many options available for a VW, why do you think that is? Yeah, I just think it's the scene tax. People can churn out it's such a big scene. There's less of a market for people converting these other vans. I think Peugeots, and there's just a lot less of them. You very rarely see so many of them. They are about, but I think it's just the way it is really. Whereas the VW scene is saturated, but everyone seems to have a lot of work on it. It's just growing and growing and growing. And yeah, so there we go. Have you ever used Carista to personalise your van's lights? No, I'm actually thinking of getting Carista and doing a video on it. I was thinking I might try and get in touch with them and see if they would do me some sort of deal, because I can potentially market their product to a lot of people if I'm pleased with it. So who knows? They might send me one in the post. You never know. I'm always up for doing that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'd love to try Carista. I've had a lot of people recommend it. I know you can change like the teardrop setting on your lights. You can change the windows, how the windows work. You can change the, if you change the dash to like an Australian one, I think you can have the speedo, the digital speedo in miles an hour rather than kilometres. It sounds really good, and I think you get the first couple of weeks free on it. Other than that, it's a paid monthly subscription. I've heard a lot of people say it's really, really good. It plugs into the OBD2 port. Yeah, so I've not used it, but I've heard it is amazing. Yeah, send me a video. 65mm. When you did the gear knob pitch, the sound was working. That's good. That's good. How much does he charge to carpet the van? So that's a good question, Cookie Monster. So one of the things George and the team at Captaincy were quite keen to kind of underline is their primary business is doing the re-trimming of the seats. You know, so seats on an exchange basis, front seats and rock and roll beds. That's their core business, and that's what they want to give themselves to. But if you're going up there to have that work done, they'll happily do extra work. So they can ply line it, they can do the flooring, they can do the carpeting, they can do insulation. So that stuff they're up for doing, but you'd need to ring them, because what they want to, I think, and you know, I know how they work. What they want to avoid is just loads of people going for carpeting, because kind of it's very labour intensive, and they at the moment they're so busy with doing seats. They need all their labour force kind of working on manufacturing the seats, fitting the seats. But if you're like me and you're able to drop your van up to them for a couple of days, I think you'd probably need to live nearby, or if not, there is actually a B&B right next to their premises. You'll see in my video, actually, I didn't stay in that B&B because I forgot it existed. I stayed on some travel lodge or this dodgy little Euro hotel thing on an A road in the middle of nowhere. It was a nightmare. You'll see it in a video that's going to come out soon. I won't say any more about that. But yeah, I don't know actually how much they charge, but you could ring George and the team at Captain Seats, have a little chat on the phone. They'd be very happy to talk to you about it. I'm not too sure, but I guess it'll be really, really reasonable. But yeah, you'd need to contact them, Cookie Monster. I don't know. Sadly, do not know. Do flexible solar panels still not absorb heat onto your roof? I had heard that. The roof is fiberglass. My last one, I had a solar panel on it and I had no problems. And so because of the PTFE coating, I think they don't. So I'm not an expert on this, so you might need to shoot me down. So if I use my phone as a little example, so this is made of glass, isn't it? And normally a solar panel is made of glass. And so it gets very hot with the sun on it. It's black glass, obviously underneath. It's got stuff for the solar. And so that glass is going to get incredibly, incredibly hot. Now, the way that a PTFE thing works is it's a little bit more like a matted surface, like this black folder. So can you see that? So you've got this black folder here, and it's sort of a bit bobbly. And so it does get hot. It's obviously black attracts the sun, but I don't think it gets as hot as this. Now, the reason when you fit these, they have like little corner mounts, don't they? Imagine this is a solar panel. That's a bit weird, guys. But you have like on each edge, you have like a little mount that lifts it just slightly, probably about this much above the roof, so the heat doesn't transfer through to the roof of the van. But I've had no problems literally bonding on solar panels on. Lenson Solar recommend it. It's how they're actually mounted to boats. It's how they're recommended. So my roof is fiberglass. Boats are usually made of fiberglass. If you had a metal van and you were sticking it on the roof, I don't know if that might cause problems, but I'm sticking it on fiberglass. That's not going to be a problem at all. The heat issue is not going to be a big issue. It will dissipate. And if it is a problem, I'll probably have to go up to Oztops and ask them if they can give me another roof, and I'll have to scrap the solar panels. But it shouldn't be a problem. But if you're an expert on solar and you're watching, put in the comments and I will announce that I am wrong. Like I say, I'm not an expert in any of this, but I think I'm not far off the mark on that. Can you do a video of the order of the work you have done? I know you said in the, so the T5 I did do in the wrong order, and actually the T6 I've had to do in the wrong order. I've not done the wiring yet, but I've got my units in now. It's all carpeted. I've got the rock and roll bed in. I've got the flooring in. I've not done the wiring. Now the reason that was just purely a planning issue, in that I'd arranged to visit 4 companies in about 2 or 3 days to go and get all the insulation, the seats fitted, the units fitted, the carpeting done. I went and saw van shades to go and see Pete and drop off some of the carpet that George had used for the carpet trimming. And so I'd have loved to have got the wiring done first, but just because I didn't have the time frame to, and then I couldn't rearrange everything at once, I literally took a week off work and went up to Leicester and to Leeds, and then back to Leicester, and then back up to Leeds, and then Barnsley. So the wiring's not done yet, and so I'm going to have to do the wiring kind of in and around what I've already got. But I can just unscrew the units and leave them forward. That's not a big deal. I don't mind that extra faff. Ideally, you'd do the wiring as one of the first jobs, but I'd left it all a bit late and just had to literally get the van together to do that. So I will try and do a video of the order. Once I've finished this one, I'll kind of itemise it, and I'll probably do some little short 5-minute videos like this, just going through each stage. So I'll try and do something like that. That's always been the aim. V-dubs have a great following though, and will always hold value better than Merc, even if you've invested the same amount. I would say that's true. Yeah, so the residual prices on VWs are incredibly strong, whereas with Mercs they seem to plummet quite quickly. But if you haven't got the cash, then sometimes you can pick up a Merc cheaper and then not have to invest so much. Obviously a lot of the gear is often the same, but if you're building it yourself, actually you do save a lot of money just to get up and running. Is George set up for fitting the rear seats yet? Dave Goldby, are you asking that as in for my van or just in general? Because they do fit rear seats. They always have done, as far as I'm aware, unless there's been a problem. I don't know. I might need you just to clarify that. Pop something in. Guys, we're nearly run out of time. There's 15 minutes left. I've got one question left. So if you've got any questions, pop them in. Let me know how we're doing. Last question. T5 sig lighter in dash only works with headlights on. Any ideas? Mate, I wish I could help you. I'm not an electrician. I have no idea whatsoever. Check the fuse, check the wiring. If it only works with the headlights on, definitely a wiring issue. I wouldn't know where to start really. You probably need to get an auto electrician to have a look, mate. Sorry. One place to go with that question, if you're not on there, VWT5, T6 forum on Facebook. There's loads of them. Just type in VWT5 forum. There's loads, literally with tens and tens and tens of thousands of people in there. It's where I go to get a lot of information on how to fix things, stuff like that. Guys, right. Well, I think we've come to the end of the road. There are no more questions. I'm just quickly... let's go live chat. Yeah, nothing else in there. So guys, thank you so much. It's been really, really good having a chat with you. I will come back a little while, probably next week. The way I see this working, having used it a little bit now, I've done a couple of videos for you guys, is uploading a video. So it might be me uploading a video, say, of doing the insulation, and then what I'll do is a 20-minute one of these where people can come in and ask questions about that job. And then what we might do is every now and then, maybe every couple of weeks or something, do another one of these, but maybe half an hour, where you can actually like either email or Facebook message or Instagram or tweet questions that I'll have pre-prepared, and then we can just sort of engage with them a little bit, if that is helpful. What's my opinion on manual gearbox, 5 or 6? Now, I've only ever had a 5-speed gearbox. I'd love to have a 6-speed one. I really would. I wish I'd invested a bit more money to have got a slightly better T6. Apparently the 5-speed boxes can be a little bit temperamental when you're putting more brake horsepower for them. Now, so if you're into tuning or anything like that, then that is a serious consideration if you're trying to upgrade things like the turbos or getting it chipped, bigger intercooler, bigger air intake, you know, all those sorts of things can make a bit of a difference. But the more power you're putting through that box, apparently they can be a little bit temperamental. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. George couldn't fit your rock and roll bed. He was fine with mine. Mine went in fine. They had to drop the spare wheel because obviously drill through the floor, but which it's underneath at the back. Any recommendations on 8-inch alloys, polished alloys? So if you're looking to get your alloys polished, there are loads of people all over the place. Most industrial units will have companies that do alloy polishing. I don't know of any really good ones. I've never had it done, but I do have a few mates down in Kent that have had that done over the years, and most of them have gone to different places. So it might be just as simple as kind of going online, typing that in, and then just having a look on the gallery and seeing what the quality of their work's like. Most people who do things like that, wrapping, graphics, you know, those sorts of jobs, spraying, they normally have galleries showing the quality of their work. That's always good. I'd always, before I actually hand over any money, want to say like, have you got any examples of work? What will my wheels look like afterwards? Always a helpful thing to do. Have you got any tips for banging in T-trim to units? Yeah, obviously you want to use a soft rubber mallet. You want to be very careful. You want to protect the material that you're banging it in with, so you don't want to bang it with a rubber mallet because it's obviously going to leave a mark. So if you've got anything that you can lay over the top of it, like some cloth that's non-abrasive or anything like that, that's a great idea, like a little bit of cotton, microfiber cloth, something like that. You can just give it a bit of a knock. As long as it's been routed well, it should just go in with a gentle knock. If it's quite forceful, you might need to get a slightly wider router to route that lip in, you know, the edge that the T-trim's going into in the furniture board. George didn't fit rear seats last time I visited, but was gearing up to do this work. Oh yeah, so when I went, yeah, he fitted them. It's fine. I've been there twice over 3 years, and he's, I think, all the way through that time fitted them. But there may have been a time at his unit when he couldn't do it, if we're talking about the same place. But I don't know. But when I went, it was fine. What's the best size alloys to have on your van? That depends on the sort of ride quality that you're after, really. So I had 22s on my T5, and it was a bone shaker. Over every pothole, it was incredibly hard work. But if you've not got it slammed, like one of the things I've seen that I'm loving, a lot of people are going, actually, rather than slamming it, they're going, you know, like raising it with bigger springs, and then they're putting on like all-terrain tyres, stuff like that. So giving it a bit of an off-roader look. I love that. I think that's great. I'd love to do that. Maybe not on this van, but I'd love to do that on another one. Get like an old T5 that's a little bit beat up and do that. Put some air intakes going up the side of the van. I think that'd look amazing. Sort of, you know, quite brutal. The bigger they are, the harder the ride is. The smaller they are, they start to... I think anything less than 18s, 19s, and they look like they're not filling out the arches. So my current one's got 20-inch alloys on there, and I think they're a lovely fit for the wheels, and it's a good compromise on the ride. Like, it's a lot better than my 22s. 22s I thought looked brilliant. Slammed, I think it was 40mm drop on the springs, and so it wasn't slammed. I know you can get air ride to really take it down, but 22s really like perfectly filled the arches. But every time I was on full lock, I'd rub, you know, they were rubbing and knocking. I had to have spacers in there. It was a nightmare on ball joints and CV joints, stuff like that. So yeah, it's that whole thing really. It depends how much, well, like form over function, isn't it? What are you looking for? What sort of style are you looking for? And then what sort of function? So if it's just you driving it, you can put up with it being a bone shaker. Sometimes slamming it and going for, you know, sort of 22s or something like that it's nice, but it's expensive as well. Great ideas with fellow other camper van builders all together. I find that someone maybe will have the answer or suggestion. Keep up the good work, and thanks for helpful advice. Feels in last 15 minutes. Yeah, guys, you've done very well. We've got 7 minutes left. I'm happy to sit here for 7 more minutes. Mine was left-hand drive caravel with the rear aircon in the way. I knew before I arrived it might be a problem. So it's not a bad word against George, more against me. Yeah, no, it's like that. It's like that. Guys, we've run out of questions. It's been lovely chatting to you. I'm going to go. It's 7 minutes to 7. It's been lovely talking to you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.